Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I'm doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you. I do. I'm not just saying that. I do. You guys are amazing. So thank you for coming and hanging out. Today, requested video. How the British Royal Navy responds to Russian Navy threats. It's by this channel called Navy Productions. Hopefully it's able to get uploaded. And so if you're seeing this, then bingo, success. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Cats are over there for those who care. Let's get right into this, shall we? Whoa. Okay.
Did you know that there's an intense yet quiet war fought between the British and Russians? In this battle, the British Royal Navy, making use of cutting-edge technology and centuries' worth of maritime experience, overthrows the Russian naval threats like it's nothing. These acts are way more than just confrontational. You can see them as a game of chess with geopolitical skills. With the heating of the geopolitical climate, waters surrounding Europe have become home to an increasingly tense atmosphere between Britain and Russia. In a rather bold and provocative series of moves, Russia has been pushing the limits in these waters, testing the patience of European nations. This isn't just a splash in the ocean. It's a strategic move that's drawing attention and concern on an international scale. In response to the rising tension and the need to safeguard the integrity of European maritime borders, Britain has taken a decisive step. The Royal Navy, a venerable force with the legacy of maintaining maritime order, has been deployed to monitor Russian naval activities closely. This move by Britain isn't just about flexing naval muscle, it's a clear message of vigilance and readiness.
That's so cool. I love seeing low-flying aircraft just flying right over the deck of an aircraft carrier. So cool.
These Royal Navy warships, equipped with advanced surveillance and defense capabilities, are Britain's eyes and ears in these contested waters. Their presence serves as a deterrent, a reminder of Britain's commitment to protect its interests and those of its European neighbors. As these warships patrol and monitor, they represent a critical component of Britain's strategic response, showcasing a blend of restraint and readiness that's essential in today's times. Cold War origins of British naval tactics. Taking a long trip back to the Cold War, a cat-and-mouse game played out between British and Soviet naval vessels. This war was certainly not a series of random encounters. It was built upon stealth, strategy, and espionage, echoing through the icy waters of the North Atlantic and beyond. Just think of a British destroyer silently slicing through the fog, its crew alert, eyes scanning the horizon. Suddenly, a blip on the radar, a Soviet submarine lurking like a phantom. In these moments, the air was thick with tension, but also with opportunity. The Royal Navy, adept in the art of naval warfare, wasn't just there to show presence. They were there to learn, to watch, and to listen. They've since kept these tactics alive. We see them even today. So naturally, over the years, these British warships became floating intelligence hubs. You can already imagine them quietly tracking the movements of their Soviet counterparts, gathering valuable information. They developed techniques that were nothing short of espionage mastery, using sonar to eavesdrop, deciphering radio communications, even analyzing water samples to trace submarine paths. All of this was done with a finesse that avoided direct confrontation. It was like no other navy. Every move was calculated to avoid escalating tensions. This chess game under the waves, as people like to call it, wasn't just about who had the bigger guns. It was about who had the sharper mind. The Royal Navy's approach was a blend of cunning and caution, balancing the need for information with the imperative of keeping the Cold War from turning hot. Each encounter, each shadowy pursuit in the depths, added a page to the annals of naval intelligence history, a testament to the Royal Navy's skill. outmaneuvering the Russians in real time. So it's clear that the Royal Navy is no joke. It's geared up with some of the most advanced tricks up its sleeve. But how is this armed force able to completely outsmart and outmaneuver the Russians? Here's the thing. In the ever-changing court of naval warfare, the Royal Navy is essentially mapping out futuristic strategies where artificial intelligence, drones, and cyber capabilities operate on the front line. This major shift, set in motion by the UK's armed forces, specifically the Royal Navy, is not just a mere change of equipment. It is a revolutionary display of how naval power is used and how adversaries, like Russia, are kept under supervision. Let's take a moment to picture a scenario where the Royal Navy vessels, instead of closing in on Russian submarines, observe them from a safe distance, using AI-driven systems to analyze their movements. But here's the catch. This is not science fiction. It's the reality being crafted by the first Sea Lord Admiral Sir Ben Key's vision. For instance, the Royal Navy's new hunter-killer submarine, HMS Anson, and its acquisition of two new ships, RFA Proteus and RFA Stirling Castle, marked significant steps in this direction.
We did a video on Proteus, I believe.
These vessels aren't mere additions to the already existing fleet. They're a much bigger move in the game to dominate the underwater battlefield. Moreover, the incorporation of the Mark 41 missile silo into the Type 26 and Type 31 frigates represents a revolutionary development.
The Diamond, HMS Diamond, that's Type 45, if I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. I know you will. But I believe it was a Type 40. Was it 42? No, I think it was 45. That's what's now in the Red Sea there. This is pretty intense. It's, yeah, I mean, like he said, it's easy to just kind of show up with the biggest guns, but to be able to just watch and observe and document, the enemy without them knowing it, it's priceless. Just incredible, though. And a lot of, you hear how the Russian Navy, or not the Russian Navy, but the Royal Navy is small. It's not anywhere what it used to be. I don't know. I beg to differ. The numbers may not be what it used to be, but I think it's far more advanced than it's ever been in history. It's just, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. This is what my dad used to always tell me. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. And I'll tell you, the Royal Navy is a massive dog with a lot of fight. That's awesome.
It goes beyond mere augmentation of the fleet's striking capabilities. Instead, it establishes a versatile platform capable of deploying an array of both current and future missiles. This technological advancement significantly broadens the Royal Navy's operational range, enabling rapid and decisive responses to emerging threats.
Look at that.
But it's not just about hardware. The Royal Navy is at the forefront of innovation, leading the way in the utilization of unmanned systems such as pilotless helicopters, quadcopters, and jet-powered Banshee drones. These crewless technologies provide a sneak peek into a future where augmentation of intelligence gathering and strike capabilities is achieved through unmanned systems, presenting a strategic advantage while eliminating the risk to human lives. Admiral Key's ambition is clear: to push the boundaries of what's possible with longer-range drones capable of more than just surveillance, but also precision strikes. As you can tell by now, the Royal Navy is heavily dedicated to maritime dominance and leads in integrating advanced technologies. As of now, it has entered a new era in naval warfare, prioritizing stealth and electronic warfare capabilities. To be specific, the implementation of the Maritime Electronic Warfare System Integrated Capability, or MUSIC for short,
that's a
goes
lot
to show
easier.
how determined the Royal Navy is in developing the best systems for its advantage over other armed forces. Developed by Babcock International in collaboration with Elbit Systems UK, MUSIC is engineered to cloak Royal Navy warships with a layer of electronic invisibility, shielding them from the prying eyes of anti-ship missiles.
Stealth.
It's a game of hide-and-seek on the open seas, and the Royal Navy is playing to win. The significance of MUSIC cannot be overstated. It represents the cumulative efforts of months of collaboration between the UK Ministry of Defence and industry partners, a synergy of military foresight and industrial innovation. The system is not just a defensive measure, it's a beacon of confidence for the Royal Navy, providing assurance that the nation is prepared to face both current and future threats head-on. By prioritizing stealth and electronic warfare and deploying advanced sensor and communication systems, the Royal Navy not only secures its legacy, but also fortifies its future as a global maritime power. Now here's a quick question for all of you watching. Do you think the British Navy is perhaps the most strategic as compared to all other naval forces in the world? Let us know your opinions and be sure to share your reasons too.
Sure. Why don't you answer that question? Yeah, why not? I mean, of course they are. I mean, they've always been at the forefront of technology and naval. I mean, you guys have been doing this naval thing for quite a long time and been pretty dominant at it. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your dress, but I mean, you're the OG of naval forces, right? And for a long time. I know the U.S. has, a lot of capabilities as well. We share technology, which has just made both a formidable foe, if you will, because, they'll be side by side in most conflicts. But having this technological advance to be able to see and know what the enemy, whoever that may be, is going to do before they even think or know what they're going to do, that it's just, it's incredible, really.
Discuss them in the comments. Encounters with the Russian Navy.
Okay, here we go.
The encounters between the Royal Navy and the Russian Navy provide numerous examples of Britain's tactical superiority at sea. In late 2016, when the Russian Admiral Kuznetsov carrier strike group returned from operations in Syria through the English Channel, HMS St. Albans was deployed on close surveillance duties. The Type 23 frigate coordinated extensively with RAF Typhoon jet.
I'll go back. It's normal for other navies in the world to go through the English Channel. I didn't think that was like a normal passageway. I always thought they had to go around if they're coming out of, say, like the Mediterranean, right? Like this Russian fleet did. I would imagine they had to go around to get up to the Black Sea up that way. I didn't think you could go through the English Channel. I guess with permission you could, but I don't know. Correct me on that one.
Duties. The Type 23 frigate coordinated extensively with RAF Typhoon jets, also monitoring the carrier group's transit. Through integrated sensors and data sharing across platforms, HMS St. Albans maintained real-time situational awareness of the ship's movements and aircraft takeoffs and landings. However, the frigate's crew exercised strategic restraint and avoided any actions that could unnecessarily escalate tensions. While clearly observing to fulfill its duty of ensuring maritime security, the Royal Navy preserved order through vigilance rather than aggression. It becomes obvious that the Royal Navy has already mastered their surveillance tactics and strategies. They've been far ahead of the competition. In May of 2018, the Royal Navy displayed its continued resolve by dispatching the hydrographic survey ship HMS Echo on a tour of Ukraine's main ports along the vitally important Black Sea coastline. Equipped with sophisticated acoustic imaging sensors, The vessel gathered navigational data while signaling Britain's public backing of Ukraine's territorial integrity in the face of Russian naval provocations. It's unbelievable, but perhaps most vividly demonstrating British naval superiority has been the modernization endeavors to incorporate two Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers hosting F-35B stealth fighters. Alongside hard power shown by their capacity to rapidly project air power globally in defense of UK interests, the carriers serve to deter would-be aggressors through brazen display of military prowess. On top of all this, in response to evolving asymmetric threats, the UK invested more than a whopping $3 billion to acquire 9 Boeing P-8A Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, which employ cutting-edge sensors to detect even Russia's newest generation nuclear attack and ballistic missile submarines lurking far beneath the waves. These far-reaching surveillance platforms help sustain Britain's advantage in anti-submarine warfare domain awareness through technologies like magnetic anomaly detection. Without a shadow of a doubt, whether carrying out shadow operations, reinforcing alliances, or leaping ahead through pioneering warship design, the Royal Navy sustains over 500 years of mastery at sea. Across innumerable encounters with adversaries like the Russian Federation Navy, British officers and sailors proved their intrepid spirit and tactical brilliance served to outmaneuver even the most veiled provocations below or above the waves. This heritage of command ensures that in any geopolitical contest, the UK retains dominance of the oceans. The future of the Royal Navy's deterrent mission. So, as advanced and ahead the Royal Navy already is, what does the future hold? Simply put, in the profound depths, the Royal Navy's submarines, the Silent Sentinels, are poised to become even more elusive with advanced sensor suites. Envision 3 vessels, already enshrouded in mystery, being equipped with the latest sonar technology, transforming them into the nation's submerged ears, detecting threats long before they manifest. On the surface, the Royal Navy's warships are preparing to embrace a new generation of drones. These aren't just ordinary drones. They serve as the fleet's airborne eyes, extending surveillance capabilities to unseen horizons. With longer range and endurance, these drones will sail the winds, scouting ahead and relaying crucial information back to their seafaring commanders. The Royal Navy is not solely preparing for current threats, but is actively shaping its capacity to address the challenges that will arise in the future. This is the future of deterrence, a Royal Navy that's not just at sea, but of the sea, safeguarding peace with a watchful eye and the silent promise of protection. This does not stop here either. NATO stands shoulder to shoulder with Britain, forming a formidable bulwark of a collective data defense that extends across the waves and underlines the power of unity. It's this spirit of cooperation that amplifies the Royal Navy's efforts. When a Russian fleet maneuvers in proximity to NATO waters, it encounters not only British warships, but also a multinational flotilla, with each vessel equipped with its suite of sensors and weapons, all interconnected. This collaborative effort extends the Royal Navy's surveillance capabilities, forming a complex and robust network.
Dang.
The vitality of this alliance lies in the training exercises, joint patrols, and intelligence sharing. NATO's naval forces, spanning from the Mediterranean to the Arctic, collaborate to maintain a state of readiness that serves both as a deterrent and a defense. When the Royal Navy deploys its cutting-edge aircraft carriers, they are often accompanied by allied vessels, creating a collective force that surpasses the individual contribution of its components. Within this alliance, information circulates freely as allies share real-time intelligence that heightens the Royal Navy's awareness and responsiveness. It mirrors the age-old wisdom, forewarned is forearmed. With NATO's backing, Britain's capacity to monitor Russian naval activity is not merely improved, it is multiplied, ensuring the detection of any hint of aggression long before it can escalate.
As a trying to put myself in the shoes of the Russian military, or anything, Chinese or Iranian. Let's just throw those 3 out there because those are the 3 that are making the loudest noises. They are so alone, and they just come off of their, out of their ports, and they're just, what, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's them, and then you have like 15 nations all sharing information, all watching them. You would have to like go, well, gosh, it's not just one adversary, it's numerous. I don't know how you would even have like wake up in the morning and go, okay, this should be a good day. It's you understand what I'm trying to say here? It's I don't know how they keep a smile on their face when knowing what they're up against. I mean, it's wild. Just the way the world is working. It's just wild.
The role of allies like NATO is to stand united with Britain, transforming the surveillance of Russian naval forces from a solely British concern into a shared commitment to the security and stability of international waters. Together, they confront present challenges and map out a course for a secure tomorrow. As the prospect of maritime conflict extends into the future, the Royal Navy stands prepared, armed not only with ships and sailors, but also with a dual arsenal of technological supremacy and adept diplomacy. It's this potent combination that will ensure that the UK continues to outmatch Russian tests of will in the years to come. The backbone of the Royal Navy's future readiness is its relentless pursuit of technological innovation, with every ship, submarine, and drone equipped with the latest advancements. The Navy's capability to detect, deter, and defend grows even sharper. These are not mere vessels of war, but bearers of a technological edge that slices through the murk of uncertainty, ensuring that British waters and interests remain protected. Importantly, it's to be noted that the Royal Navy's strength is not measured by technology alone. The hand that wields the sword must be as deft as the blade is sharp, right? Skilled diplomacy stands as the Royal Navy's rudder, guiding interactions on the international stage. It's this diplomatic acumen that forges alliances, secures peace, and deters aggression. The UK's naval diplomats do not just navigate waters, they navigate complex webs of relationships, ensuring that tensions are eased and conflicts are avoided. Looking ahead, the Royal Navy will continue to be a silent guardian, a watchful protector whose presence is felt even when not seen. It's a force that speaks softly but carries the indomitable spirit of centuries of maritime dominance.
Carries a big
With a
stick.
continued commitment to innovation and the cultivation of strategic partnerships, the Royal Navy is poised not to just face the challenges posed by Russian naval forces, but to maintain a position of advantage, safeguarding the nation's future on the seas with an unwavering hand. So, do you think the Russian Navy has a chance against the Royal Navy anytime soon in the future? Many speculate that the Russian Navy is in the works to outperform themselves. What are your thoughts on this? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. And with that, my friends, we've come to the end of this video.
Good
Thanks
video.
for joining us on this journey as we discover the British Royal Navy's strategies to outsmart Russian naval threats.
Yeah, great video. Please go subscribe and support Navy Productions. Interesting. I loved how it was just about the Royal Navy. They didn't start throwing out all the other countries. They mentioned there's partners, yes, with NATO and so on and so forth. It's hard not to mention NATO, but let's be honest. The big dog out there in the Atlantic is the Royal Navy, and it's just so everything's got to kind of revolve around them, and they're going to have way more advancements than most of NATO members. Now, they're going to share what they're going to share. They're not going to share everything, but they're going to share what they're going to share. That way they can work together and create this line of surveillance and defense and deterrence, which is probably the most important thing, to deter anything from kicking off. But I just, to go back on, I don't know how you come out of, you leave for work on a naval vessel for a deployment, and you're just like, okay, well, we don't see them, but we know they're there, and they're knowing our every move. And the Royal Navy knows when you go, to the head. They know when you're showering. They know when you're eating. They know what you're going to do that day before you know what you're going to do that day, and it's just got to be disheartening and kind of weird to have to deal. And here's the thing: they're being told by their leaders and their commanders, like, "Oh, you're the best. We outdo this. We can take them." But it's got to be creeping in your mind, going, "Oh, come on. Let's be real here." Sometimes I believe places like Russia and China tend to step out of reality sometimes, and they think they're mightier than they are. So I don't know. God forbid anything were to happen, but if it were, I feel very comfortable with the Royal Navy up front, for sure. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I did. Thank you for the suggestion. Again, go support the Navy Productions channel. Navy Productions explains how the world at sea works. That's their tagline. So, cool. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And hope you're all happy, healthy, and safe, of course. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. And he's from